all of these are non-right triangles. So we have our two choices of log sines and log cosines. So look at these here. This is SAS, this is SSS, and this is SAS. So each of these will be log cosines. The rest should be able to be done with log sines. So the way that I set this up is I have the sine of 100 over 10 is equal to the sine of this one over this one. I need that. So I find that that's 50 using triangles equal 180. So sine of 50 over x. Hopefully you've got how to plug all that in. You should get an answer of 7.78. If not, see what you can do. Cross multiply and go from there. Let's do our other law of sines first. So we have this one over this one. So sine of 40 over 5 is equal to sine of x over 3. So I'll help you out with this one a little bit more. We have our little cross multiply, or actually, I don't even want to cross multiply. I just need to get rid of the 3. I'm going to multiply by 3. So I'm going to have 3 sine of 40 over 5 is equal to the sine of x. So we need to figure out what all of this is in our calculator. So 3 times the sine of 40 and that parentheses divided by 5. So that is my decimal. And so now I need to undo sine, which means I need to do the inverse sine. So I'm going to do inverse sine of the answer, and I'm going to get my 22 degrees. So 22.69 degrees is that answer. So now we're down to law of cosine. So let's do this one here first. So law of cosines would be, these are the c's, angle C and side C. So this would be x squared is equal to 5 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 5 times 12 times cosine of 40. That is a 40. I'm sorry if you thought it was a 41, but go ahead and go with a 40. So I plug all of that into my calculator. I mean, just as is. So I have 5 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 5 times 12 times cosine of 40. Just plug it all in. That's our answer, which is x squared. So I'm going to square root the answer of that. I'm going to get 8.78. I am rounding up. Hopefully you can see that. 9 tells me to round up. Once I have that and I'm finding another side, I never have to use law of cosines twice. So I'm going to go ahead and use law of sines now. So I'm going to have sine of y over 5 equals sine of 40 over 8.78. The same thing I just found. So we're going to do our little cross multiply. We're going to get sine, oh, I don't need to cross multiply again. I just want to multiply by 5. So 5 times the sine of 40 over 8.78. I'm not going to walk you through plugging that in again because it's just like the one we just did. But you should get an answer of 21.47. So if not, you know you have done something incorrect. All right, so let's look at this one here. Law of cosines is what we're going to need because, again, law of sines is sine of x over 7 is equal to sine of some other variable over some other number, and it doesn't work. So these are my C's. Little note, you always want to try to find the big one first. Sometimes finding the small one first makes a mess, so just try to find the big one first if you can. So let's do that. 7 squared equals 3 squared plus 5 squared minus 2 times 3 times 5 times cosine of x. So I do need to do some simplification. So I'm going to square and add those. So that would be, what, 9 plus 25. So that's 34. I'm going to square that, which is 49. I'm going to multiply all that, which is 30. And this is 34 minus 3 times something. So I need to move the addition part first and then undo my multiplication. So I'm going to do 49 minus 34. And then I'm going to divide by a negative 30, which gives me negative 0.5. And then I'm going to plug in the inverse cosine. So inverse cosine of negative 0.5 gives me 120 degrees. Once I have that, I never have to use it again. I'm going to go ahead and set up law of sines here. So let's see where I have some room. I would have sine of, sorry about that, sine of y over 5. Sine of y over 5 is equal to the sine of x over, what did I do? Not x, sine of 120 over y. No, over 7. Sorry. Okay? Cross multiply. Again, doing the same thing as you did here before, and you do get that y is equal to 38. All right, here is our last step. The only option we have for this one is the law of cosines. I'm going to get a piece of paper out to make this a little bit easier to write with. And so the law of cosines, again, because it's SAS, would be, the only thing I can find is that one. So that's what I need to find, even though it looks like I don't need to. So I'm going to do x, not x, I'm not going to say x because that's the x there. So let's do y. Y squared is equal to 8 squared plus 15 squared minus 2 times 8 times 15 times cosine of 30. So I'm just going to plug all of that mess in my calculator. X squared plus 15 squared minus, negative 2 times 8 times 15 times the cosine of 30, which is 122. I'm going to square root the answer and get 11.07. Uh-oh, did I do something wrong? That's not what I had on my last one. Oh, shoot. This was supposed to be 15. 81 square root gives me 9. Sorry about that. And that would be 9.01. So it's 9.01. And now I'm going to find this one using the law of sines. So sine of x over 15 equals sine of 30 over 9.01. And when you do all of your math, you get 56.44. So each of these kind of have that same little setup to do.